Skilled workers trying to get Canadian permanent residence in 2026 are increasingly relying on provincial nominee programs because federal express entry cutoffs remain high. A provincial nomination can add a major boost to an express entry profile, which often changes the outcome from waiting in the pool to receiving an invitation to apply. This article compares Alberta, Ontario, and British Columbia, the three most popular destinations for economic immigrants, to identify which province offers the fastest and most realistic path to permanent residence in 2026. A key factor is nomination allocation. Ontario receives the largest allocation in 2026 with 14,119 nominations, up from 10,750 in 2025. Alberta increases to 6,403 nominations from 4,875 at the start of 2025. British Columbia rises to 5,254 from 4,000 in the initial 2025 allocation, but the province had requested far more, which signals tighter competition. Higher allocations can support more invitations, but demand also matters. Ontario's larger allocation is paired with the largest applicant pressure. Alberta's growing allocation comes with very high draw activity. British Columbia's allocation constraints may raise score thresholds and limit invitations. Program structure also shapes speed. Alberta's Alberta Advantage immigration program is flexible and active, with pathways for workers already employed in Alberta, express entry candidates, rural communities, healthcare workers, tourism and hospitality, and entrepreneurs. Ontario's program is large but increasingly employer-driven, with its most active routes requiring a job offer and employer participation through an employer portal process. Ontario's express entry-aligned streams have been largely inactive, so candidates should plan mainly around employer job offer pathways and select graduate streams. British Columbia runs a points-based registration system and has targeted invitations, including consistent tech occupation draws and specialized categories for healthcare and graduates. Processing time is split into provincial nomination processing and federal permanent residence processing after nomination. In provincial processing, Alberta can be the fastest for certain priority routes, with accelerated tech cases often around 1 month and other streams commonly taking 1 to 4 months. Ontario generally processes complete applications in about 2 to 3 months, though the overall timeline can extend if employer steps add time. British Columbia commonly takes 2 to 3 months for many streams, with priority handling for tech and certain targeted categories. For express entry-linked nominations, federal processing is typically about 6 months after nomination. For non-express entry nominations, federal processing can be much longer, commonly in the range of a year to well over a year. Draw frequency affects real-world opportunity. Alberta runs frequent draws, often several per month, creating many chances to be invited even when each draw is smaller. Ontario runs fewer draws that may cluster into certain months, so timing can be less predictable. British Columbia tends to run regular targeted rounds, but its selection can be more competitive, especially when focusing on high-impact or high-wage profiles. Priority occupations matter in all three provinces. Alberta highlights healthcare, technology, construction, manufacturing, agriculture, aviation, and tourism. Ontario heavily prioritizes healthcare and early childhood education and also targets regional needs outside the Greater Toronto Area. British Columbia emphasizes a list of tech occupations, healthcare, childcare, construction, and other targeted roles. Overall, the article concludes that Alberta offers the fastest and most accessible path for many candidates, especially those already working in the province and eligible for active streams with frequent draws. Ontario can be excellent for candidates with strong employer support and in priority occupations, while British Columbia can be highly effective for tech and certain graduate and high score profiles, but may be more competitive due to allocation pressure.